We have a little bit smaller room than the last time. Today's a busy scheduled day, so the larger room in 216 was booked up. So I apologize for less room and standing room only for some of y'all, but thank you for being here. On the agenda today, we have 4 items. The first one we're going to bring up is House Bill 756. This is the Prison Industry Enhancement Program. This bill that was sent to us from the House had a 3-year repeal date extension to it, which would take it to 2027. I've talked with the chairman of corrections in the Senate, and he would like for me to put a reverse repealer in this to keep it alive. And he has a few things he wants to discuss with the House before we move it to the governor. And so with that, we have a strike all that would include a reverse repealer. Does anyone have any questions on that bill?
Strike all.
Motion is to adopt a strike all. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, and motion on the bill.
Title sufficient to pass, strike all.
Motion is title sufficient do pass as amended. Strike all is all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll report that out. The next one is House Bill 759. Also Mississippi Prison Industries Act. The first one was program. This is the act. It's extend the repealer on it the same 3 years. We did the same thing. Is put a reverse repealer in to keep it alive and discuss it more with the chairman of corrections. And there's no questions. Yep. Senator Sparks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Both of these bills, and I may have cut you off. You may have been planning on inserting a reverse repealer in this bill as well.
Yes.
But both of these bills have a lot of workforce to it. So I not only support the reverse repealer, but I kind of need to know, are we creating a new Department of Workforce within the prison system, since we've already created an Office of Workforce Development, better known as Accelerate. So I guess just for the committee's sake, I would like to know if this is a new program, a new creation, and if so, why would it be outside of the bounds of the Office of Workforce Development? And I know they're not your bills, but
And this was just extending the repealer. I think it says from the Act of 1990, but I'd like to work with you more on that. Reenacts it. Code sections that have lapsed, but we can get together. I'll put you on the conference committee and we'll work on that together. Yes.
At that point, there is a language in there. It's a liaison between Accelerate and Department of Corrections, who establishes the deputy commissioner of Workforce Development in the Department of Corrections, which I believe is Brad Lund at this time, and who serves in that. So there is a conduit right there, but I do agree with Senator Sparks that it's something that needs to be under his eyes as far as
Yes. We'll work on that together. Thank you very much, Senator Parker. Thank you, Senator Sparks. Any other questions?
Move that we adopt strike all.
Motions to adopt the strike all. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Okay. If there's no other questions,
Title sufficient to pass, strike all.
motion is title sufficient do pass, strike all. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? We'll report that bill out. The last one is Department of Corrections. It eliminates the executive deputy commissioner. I spoke with the chairman of corrections. He said that the deputy commissioner role was a request that came in a few years ago. Now there's apparently a request to remove that position. My intention is to put a reverse repealer in until we can gather more information and see what we want to do on this. And so, questions, Senator Sparks?
thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think that's the very position that Senator Parker just spoke of, that they're now deleting. So I'm, saying it for the world to hear. It looks like we're creating a workforce division inside the Department of Corrections, and that's outside of the scope of Accelerate and the Office of Workforce Development. But I appreciate you putting reverse repealers in it. Thank you.
Yes. And again, we'll work together on it as we move it forward. Any other questions?
Move we adopt strike all.
Motion is to adopt the strike all. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right. There's no
Sufficient to pass, strike all.
motions title sufficient do pass, strike all. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, we'll report that bill out. The final bill on the agenda is House Bill 1590. As everyone is quite aware, this is regarding PERS and a proposal that was sent to us regarding the board and the 2% scheduled employer increase this year. This committee, every committee member has done a significant amount of work and put a lot of effort into this bill. We've all communicated at different times about different positions on this bill, different thoughts on the PERS system. We had a hearing to try to gather more information, and I think the hearing was enlightening. We welcome the board members to reach out to us. Other than us communicating with the board members to have them at our hearing, we have not heard from any board members regarding this issue, but we've heard from thousands and thousands of PERS members. And everybody on this committee values state employees, future state employees, and retirees. No one at any time on this committee has had any inclination to try to do anything but honor the benefits that people have committed to, and that people have worked for and are currently earning. I think the hearing was very enlightening because we found out that the PERS system does have the money to pay retirees. If you are a retiree or close to retiring, the money is there. It is sound to pay you. Although we do need to make changes going forward, and those changes may be a new tier that would be just for new hires, that is more sustainable long term. And I think that's something that we will be looking at soon. That being said, I believe that the correct course of action right now is to not bring up House Bill 1590 for a vote. However, I think that, or I would encourage the board to be transparent, do live webcasts like we do, not only for their board meetings, but also for their working groups or committee meetings, so that everybody can see the dialogue that they have, can better understand what goes into their decision-making. And I would also encourage the board to put a stay on the 2% employer increase this year. We've heard from a large number of counties, cities, IHL, state agencies, K through 12 education. We even had a board member talk about some of the repercussions that could happen with the increase as it rolls in, and not being able to hire more teachers potentially. We heard from a mayor that said it could lead to cutting services and raising property taxes. And the reason I think that a stay is important, I think the board would be wise to request an appropriation that could help with the PERS budget. But remember that what we're going off of is a snapshot. 2 years ago, the snapshot was that on our current course, we were going to be 93.5% funded, I believe it was, in 25 years. And so all these are snapshots, and it could be totally different next year. And so instead of locking into what would end up being a perpetual increase on employers, which could have a negative effect on PERS if employers hire fewer people because of it, I think that we need to look at ways that we can keep the PERS system sound without putting that burden on the employers of the state and potentially have a negative effect 10 or 15 years from now. And so with that, I will entertain a motion to rise and report.
So